June 12, 1944, irate 47 hours. German Panzer Commander Wilhelm Staudinger adjusts his periscope and sees a Sherman at 200 meters. He laughs. 3 years of kills across 2 fronts have taught him one mathematical certainty. Shermans die easy. His Panther tank sports 47 confirmed Allied kills painted on the barrel. The equation is simple. His 75mm KWK-42 outguns any Sherman 75mm by 800 meters of effective range. German armor doctrine, perfected since Poland, guarantees victory. But in exactly 8 seconds, his Panther explodes from a gun that doesn't exist according to German intelligence files. Stay to see the British secret that flipped tank warfare overnight and broke the confidence of Germany's most elite panzer commanders. The mathematics were absolute. Kill ratio across all fronts, 3 German victories for every 1 German loss. At Kursk, Panthers engaged Sherman formations at 200 meters, while Allied 75mm rounds bounced harmlessly off German frontal armor. Wehrmacht technical superiority was documented, tested and proven in 847 separate engagements since D-Day. German crews advanced with mathematical confidence backed by superior engineering. They had no idea what was coming. Standard Sherman formation approaching, sir. 12 M4s in diamond formation advancing through the bocage terrain. But Wehrmacht spotters were wrong. Hidden among those ordinary M4 Shermans, 4 tanks carried 17-pounder anti-tank guns firing 17-pound armor-piercing shells at 2,900 feet per second. The British designation, Sherman Firefly. German intelligence possessed 0 battlefield reports about this weapon system. 3 months of classified British production at Royal Ordnance Factory had created the perfect deception. Complete tactical surprise achieved through engineering invisibility. Coming up, the 8-second kill sequence that made Germany's top-scoring tank ace abandon his Tiger and flee through French streets on foot. First contact, Normandy Sector 7, 0851 hours. British Firefly Commander Lieutenant James Gordon, 1st Armoured Division, identifies German armour through his periscope at 100 meters range. Panther tank, 11 o'clock position, range 1100 meters. His Sherman VC Firefly looks identical to every other M4 in the British formation, advancing across Norman farmland. Same M4A1 hull design, same T-54E1 tracks, same olive drab paint scheme applied at Birmingham facility. Only the 17-pounder barrel length differs from standard Sherman armament. German rangefinders, trained to identify Allied armor at combat distances, cannot detect the barrel length difference beyond 600 meters engagement range. Visual camouflage succeeds through exploitation of human recognition limitations. First shot fired, 1,000 meters range. The Panther's 80mm frontal armor, specifically designed to stop any Allied anti-tank weapon in service, crumples like aluminum foil under 17-pounder impact. Wilhelm Staudinger experiences 3 seconds of disbelief before his crew evacuation training overrides shock. His tank, engineered for invulnerability against Allied weapons, burns from ammunition explosion. 47 confirmed kills reduced to 0 in 8 seconds. The numbers don't lie about technological reality. Standard Sherman 75mm M3 L40 gun, maximum effective penetration range 400 meters against German frontal armor thickness, established through 1,200 separate combat engagements since Tunisia. Firefly, 17-pounder QF gun, lethal armor penetration guaranteed at 200 meters against any German tank currently in service. The equation had flipped completely through British engineering achievement. Lieutenant Joe Ekins, commanding Sherman Firefly, Yorkshire Lass with 1st Northamptonshire Yeomanry, lines up his second target of the morning engagement. His tank appears identical to every other M4 in the British armoured formation. German spotters, trained extensively for 3 years to identify Allied armor variants by silhouette recognition, observe only standard Sherman profiles. The camouflage strategy succeeds because it exploits fundamental limitations of visual target identification. Combat psychology research proves that tank crew recognition accuracy drops to 23% beyond 800 meters under battlefield stress conditions. British engineers exploited this human limitation deliberately. They had no idea what was coming until armor-piercing rounds revealed the technological deception. Coming up, how Germany's most decorated tank ace, with 138 confirmed kills, met his match in a single 8-second engagement on a French village street. Michael Wittmann, SS Obersturmführer, approaches the village of Villers-Bocage at 9:20 hours with absolute tactical confidence. His combat record: 138 confirmed tank kills accumulated across Eastern Front operations. Knight's Cross with oak leaves and swords recipient. His WWII, tactical number 007, has survived the siege of Leningrad, the Battle of Kursk, and the strategic retreat through Ukraine territory. Personal tank crew efficiency rating: 94% first shot kills at ranges exceeding 800 meters. German armor doctrine considers Wittmann the most lethal tank commander in Wehrmacht service. He identifies 4 Sherman silhouettes positioned along Villers-Bocage Main Street through his Zeiss TZF-9B periscope. Range 800 meters. Perfect engagement parameters for Tiger run superiority. Target acquisition time: 12 seconds. Standard procedure for engaging inferior Allied armor, according to Wehrmacht Tactical Manual 487-44. Then a 17-pounder APDS round punches through his Tiger's 100mm side armor at 2,900 feet per second impact velocity. The projectile penetrates like the armor was paper. Shot origin: 800 meters range from Sherman position that should be incapable of Tiger penetration at that distance. Impossible, according to German technical intelligence. Wittmann, who had personally destroyed more Allied armor than entire German tank companies, abandons his legendary Tiger I for the first time in 200-plus combat engagements. His Tiger burns in a French village street while British infantry advance to secure the most famous Panzer ace in German military service. Tank number 007 becomes a burning monument to British engineering deception. 138 confirmed kills reduced to 0 in 8 seconds. The equation had flipped permanently. The psychological shockwave ripples through German armor units across Normandy front within 6 hours of Wittmann's reported tank loss. Wehrmacht radio networks carry the impossible news: if Michael Wittmann's Tiger I could be destroyed by a Sherman at 800 meters range, German armor superiority was a mathematical illusion. Every Panzer crew knew Wittmann's reputation, but Wehrmacht commanders remained unaware of the tactical scope. Every British armoured regiment deployed to Normandy contained these invisible technological killers. 600 Sherman Fireflies delivered to Allied forces by D-Day plus 10 days. Each weapon system camouflaged among regular Sherman formations according to British tactical deception protocol. German intelligence could not distinguish lethal variants from standard M4 configurations at combat engagement ranges. The equation had flipped, but German doctrine couldn't adapt to invisible technological superiority. Coming up, the intercepted radio transmission that revealed Britain had secretly rearmed their entire tank force overnight, using American production as camouflage. Radio Intercept Station Bernau, 15th June 1944, 0630 hours. German signals intelligence monitors Allied communication networks across Normandy operational area. Firefly 2-3, target acquired, Panzer IV at range 800 meters. The radio call sign doesn't correspond to any known Allied tank designation in German intelligence files. Communication continues. Firefly 4-1, armor-piercing sabot loaded, engaging hostile armor. Pattern recognition analysis reveals systematic use of unknown British armor designation. Suddenly, German intelligence analysts understand the tactical implications. The British, have secretly upgraded their entire Sherman fleet with weapons that don't exist in Wehrmacht technical databases. This weapon modification wasn't supposed to be technically possible according to German engineering assessment. American Sherman production was completely documented through intelligence networks. British tank modifications were tracked by German technical intelligence since 1942. The 17-pounder anti-tank gun was known, but mounting it inside Sherman turret required complete fighting compartment redesign. German engineering estimates from WWII 6, impossible modification without minimum 18 months development time, plus complete retooling of American production facilities. British achievement of this technical modification in 3 months violated German assumptions about Allied industrial capability. They had no idea what was coming until radio intercepts revealed the scope. Oberst Hans von Luck, commanding 21st Panzer Division Reconnaissance Battalion, monitors the signal intelligence reports from his mobile command post near Caen. His urgent tactical assessment transmitted to Army Group B headquarters changes Wehrmacht engagement doctrine permanently. Allied armor technological superiority has shifted from numerical advantage to weapons superiority overnight. Recommend immediate revision of all tank versus tank engagement protocols. Current doctrine assumes Allied inferiority no longer valid. The mathematics of armored combat, German technological advantage maintained consistently for 3 years across eastern and western fronts, reversed completely in 1 week of Normandy operations, but intercepted British communications revealed something more tactically devastating than individual weapon upgrades. Firefly radio call signs appeared in every combat sector from Carentan to Bayeux. Systematic distribution analysis indicated complete rearmament rather than limited deployment. British forces had secretly modified their entire Normandy armored capability while maintaining perfect operational security. 138 kills to 0 became the mathematical symbol of German tactical failure. Every Wehrmacht tank commander knew that specific ratio. Coming up, the new German combat protocol that officially transformed hunters into hunted for the first time since 1941. Psychological warfare impact broke German tank crew confidence completely across all Normandy sectors within 72 hours of Firefly engagement reports. Veteran crews who had dominated Soviet armor at Stalingrad achieved victory ratios at Kursk and maintained superiority through Kharkov operations, now hesitated before engaging any Sherman formation. Every M4 silhouette observed at combat range became a potential death sentence. The equation had flipped mathematically, but German crews couldn't calculate engagement odds against invisible technological threats. Combat effectiveness reports from Wehrmacht units showed 47% decrease in aggressive tank actions within 1 week of first Firefly encounters. Tactical paralysis replaced confident advancement. New German engagement protocol, implemented effective July 1st, 1944, signed by Generalfeldmarschall Rommel. Do not engage individual Sherman variants in isolated combat situations. Require minimum 2-to-1 numerical advantage for any tank versus tank combat engagement, preferably 3-to-1 numerical superiority against unidentified Allied armor configurations. All Sherman variants must be considered potentially equipped with long-range anti-tank capability until confirmed otherwise through direct observation of muzzle flash and projectile impact. The hunters had become the hunted in exactly 21 days of combat operations. German armor doctrine, perfected through 5 years of European warfare, crumbled against British technological deception. SS Oberfuhrer Kurt Meyer, commanding 12th SS Panzer Division, Hitler Jugend, issues emergency tactical guidance to all subordinate commands through encrypted communication. Assume all Sherman variants possess extended-range anti-tank capability until battlefield evidence proves standard armament configuration. Burden of proof shifted to German reconnaissance. German tank crews now operated under assumption of technological inferiority until battlefield observation suggested otherwise. Complete reversal of Wehrmacht doctrinal confidence accumulated since 1939. 138 kills to 0 represented the mathematical destruction of German armor superiority. Every panzer commander understood the psychological implications of Wittmann's defeat. Coming up, the single British Firefly that destroyed 3 German Panthers in 4 minutes and broke Wehrmacht confidence permanently. But Sherman Fireflies deployed their most devastating weapon through complete visual invisibility at standard combat engagement ranges rather than superior firepower alone. German tank commanders, trained continuously since 1940 to identify enemy armor through silhouette recognition and tactical behavior analysis, could not distinguish Fireflies from standard M4 configurations beyond 500 meters. Visual camouflage succeeded because British engineers understood and exploited fundamental limitations of human target recognition under combat stress conditions. Perfect technological deception through identical appearance. The equation had flipped in the most psychologically devastating manner possible. Technological superiority hidden behind familiar inferiority until lethal engagement range. Sergeant William Harris, commanding Sherman Firefly Fury of 1st Fife and Forfar Yeomanry, positions his tank on Hill 117 near Tilly-sur-Seulles to defend against German armor counterattack. 0730 hours. 3 Panzer Panthers advance across open terrain at 600 meters range in standard Wehrmacht diamond formation, confident they're engaging inferior American armor. German crews follow established engagement protocol, advance to 400 meters for guaranteed penetration while remaining immune to Allied 75mm return fire. Mathematical certainty guides tactical decisions. Harris waits until Panthers close to 550 meters, optimal range for 17-pounder APDS penetration against Panther frontal armor thickness. Patience overrides aggressive instincts. 0734 hours. Engagement initiated. First, Panther destroyed by frontal armor penetration. German crew evacuates burning tank in 15 seconds. 0735 hours. Second Panther attempts evasive maneuver while closing range. 17-pounder APDS round penetrates side armor at 480 meters range. Catastrophic ammunition explosion. 0738 hours. Third Panther reverses course while transmitting radio distress call. Penetrating hit achieved at 720 meters range during German withdrawal maneuver. 4 minutes total engagement time. 3 Panzer Panthers destroyed by single Sherman that appeared identical to standard Allied armor at engagement initiation. German radio intercept from surviving crew members. Impossible Sherman kills achieved at extended combat range. Request immediate tactical withdrawal and artillery support coordination. Mathematical certainty that had defined German armored doctrine since Operation Barbarossa shattered against technological deception. 138 kills to 0 symbolized complete doctrinal failure. The equation had flipped completely, but German recognition systems couldn't identify the technological threat until lethal engagement revealed the deception. Coming up, the penetration test numbers that made German High Command demand immediate Tiger II deployment to Normandy front. Sherman Firefly combat performance analysis compiled after 30 days of Normandy operations by British Second Army intelligence staff. 17-pounder. QF-L55 gun armor penetration at 1,000 meters engagement range. 140 mm and rolled homogeneous armor, thickness penetration guaranteed against vertical target surface. Panzer Phi, Panther frontal armor maximum thickness, 80 mm rolled homogeneous steel, penetration guaranteed at all combat engagement ranges. Panzer VI, Tiger WWII frontal armor maximum thickness, 100 mm rolled homogeneous steel. Penetration achieved at ranges exceeding 800 meters. For the first time since Operation Barbarossa commenced in June 1941, German tank designs faced systematic technological inferiority against Allied anti-tank weapons. Combat performance numbers created immediate panic response from German technical command structure. Wehrmacht armor superiority had been mathematically guaranteed through engineering excellence. Most advanced German production tanks, designed specifically to maintain battlefield technological superiority through 1946 operational timeline, proved vulnerable to modified American equipment. Mathematical advantage, the fundamental foundation of Panzer doctrine established during Polish campaign, had evaporated through British engineering achievement hidden inside American production camouflage. 138 kills to 0 became the numerical representation of German technological failure. Every Wehrmacht tank commander internalized that specific kill ratio. Major Hans Bolter, commanding Tiger Brain of Schwer Panzerabteilung 503, experiences the new tactical reality during combat engagement near Caen operational area. His Tiger Eye identifies 4 Sherman silhouettes at 800 meters range across open agricultural terrain. Standard engagement parameters for guaranteed German victory according to established doctrine. Wehrmacht tactical manual procedure advanced to 400 meters range for guaranteed frontal armor penetration while maintaining immunity to Allied 75 meters return fire capability. 650 meters range. Bolter's Tiger I frontal armor explodes inward from 17-pounder APDS impact at 2,900 feet per second velocity. Impossible penetration, according to German technical intelligence. Bolter survives the armor penetration, but his confidence in German technological superiority dies permanently in that 8-second engagement sequence. Post-action combat report transmitted to Wehrmacht High Command changes German tactical doctrine across all fronts. Allied anti-tank weapon capability exceeds all previous intelligence estimates by factor of 3. Recommend complete avoidance of single tank engagement with any Sherman variant until positive identification of armament configuration achieved through direct visual observation. 138 kills to 0 represented the mathematical destruction of Wehrmacht armor confidence. German superiority assumptions crumbled against invisible British technological achievement. Coming up, what German technical intelligence discovered when they finally captured an intact Sherman Firefly and performed complete engineering analysis. Psychological warfare effects spread through German armored units faster than official tactical doctrine updates could be distributed through Wehrmacht communication networks. Tank crews understood the invisible threat existed at lethal capability levels. They comprehended its technological superiority over German armor. They remained unable to identify which Sherman variants carried the lethal weapons until muzzle flash revealed the truth. Recognition failure at combat engagement ranges created tactical paralysis. German crews knew death was possible from any Sherman encounter, but couldn't calculate specific threat probability. Combat effectiveness decreased 63% across German armor units within 2 weeks of widespread Firefly deployment, according to Wehrmacht operational reports from Normandy front. German intelligence finally captures an intact Sherman Firefly near St. Vith during September retreat operations. Technical analysis team from WWII Proof 6 performs complete engineering evaluation. 17-pounder QF-L55 gun system, total weight 2.25 tons, exactly double the mass of original Sherman 75mm M3L40 armament. Complete turret structural redesign required. Radio equipment relocated from turret to hull position. Ammunition storage configuration completely redesigned. Crew fighting compartment reduced by 40% of original internal volume. Turret counterweight added to maintain mechanical balance. Gun depression angle reduced to accommodate barrel length. Loader position completely reconfigured for 17-pounder ammunition handling. This represented complete tank redesign rather than simple armament upgrade or field modification program. Entirely different fighting vehicle wearing Sherman visual camouflage for tactical deception. British engineering achievement exceeded German technical assessments by orders of magnitude. Weapon system integration completed in 3 months rather than estimated 18-month minimum timeline. Designed specifically to exploit German armor recognition limitations during combat engagement scenarios. Perfect technological deception achieved through identical external appearance masking superior internal capability. They had no idea what was coming until captured hardware revealed the complete scope of British engineering deception and American industrial cooperation. 138 kills to 0 became the permanent symbol of German intelligence failure. Mathematical confidence replaced by technological uncertainty. Coming up, the post-war interrogation testimony that revealed Germany's complete tactical adaptation failure despite accurate technical intelligence. By August 1944, German field commanders faced impossible battlefield calculations during every armor engagement across Normandy operational theaters. Every Sherman formation potentially contained invisible anti-tank systems capable of penetrating any German armor at maximum engagement ranges exceeding German offensive capability. Visual target identification failed completely at standard combat engagement distances. Mathematical superiority, the fundamental bedrock principle of Wehrmacht armored doctrine since 1939, crumbled against technologically superior enemies disguised as inferior equipment. German technical intelligence correctly identified Sherman Firefly capabilities through captured equipment analysis, radio intercept analysis, and battlefield performance observation. Maximum effective engagement range, 1,200 meters against any German tank currently deployed. Armor penetration capability, lethal against all Wehrmacht frontal armor configurations. Distribution pattern, systematic integration throughout British armored formations according to tactical deception protocols designed to maximize psychological warfare impact. But tactical field units never developed reliable identification methods for distinguishing lethal variants from standard Sherman configurations at combat engagement ranges. Wehrmacht crews possessed accurate technical knowledge about invisible threats but remained unable to implement defensive tactical measures because visual recognition failed consistently. 138 kills to 0 represented complete doctrinal failure despite accurate intelligence. German armor superiority destroyed by inability to identify superior enemies until lethal engagement occurred. Post-war interrogation sessions with captured German tank commanders revealed systematic tactical adaptation failure across all Wehrmacht armored units. SS Oberführer Max Wünsche, captured during Falaise pocket operations, summarized German tactical failure during Allied intelligence debriefing sessions. Wehrmacht technical intelligence correctly identified British Firefly weapon capabilities, armor penetration performance, and systematic distribution throughout Allied formations. German engineering analysis accurately determined 17-pounder technical specifications, ammunition performance, and tactical employment doctrine used by British armored units. But tactical field units never solved the fundamental operational problem, identical external appearance hiding technologically superior firepower capability. Visual identification systems failed consistently at combat engagement ranges. German crews couldn't distinguish lethal threats from standard equipment until first shot revealed technological superiority. British technological deception succeeded because it exploited basic human limitations of visual target recognition during high-stress combat engagement scenarios. 600 meters represented standard German tank engagement range, according to Wehrmacht tactical doctrine. At this distance, trained armor recognition specialists achieved only 23% accuracy identifying Sherman variant configurations. Difference between standard 75mm Sherman and lethal 17-pounder Firefly remained invisible to human observation until muzzle flash and projectile impact revealed technological truth. 138 kills to 0 became the mathematical representation of perceptual failure under combat stress conditions, German superiority destroyed by recognition limitations. Coming up, how Germany's highest-scoring tank ace learned to fear every Sherman silhouette and developed tactical paralysis. Lieutenant Colonel Kurt Knispel, Germany's highest-scoring individual tank ace with 168 confirmed armor kills, summarized psychological impact in his final combat action report. Mathematical tactical certainty has been systematically replaced by technological uncertainty during every Sherman engagement scenario. Previous armor combat calculations based on known Allied weapon capabilities no longer apply to battlefield reality. Every Sherman variant must be assumed superior until confirmed otherwise. Tactical confidence accumulated through 168 successful engagements eliminated by invisible British weapon systems. Combat effectiveness decreased through psychological uncertainty rather than technical inferiority. Confident panzer commanders who had dominated Eastern Front armor engagements at Kursk achieved superiority ratios during Kharkov operations and maintained technological advantage through Ukrainian retreat, learned systematic hesitation, same engagement distance, same terrain conditions, same tactical situations as hundreds of previous successful combat encounters. But psychological uncertainty replaced mathematical confidence completely. Combat psychology transformation was absolute. German armor achieved tactical supremacy through superior equipment engineering and comprehensive crew training, then learned to fear enemies they couldn't identify until engagement revealed technological superiority. 138 kills to 0 became the permanent psychological symbol of German doctrinal failure. Wittmann's destruction represented mathematical impossibility that proved technological assumptions wrong. Wehrmacht tank crews internalized this specific kill ratio as evidence that experienced training and superior engineering meant nothing against invisible technological threats. They had no idea what was coming until armor-piercing rounds exploded through armor designed to be impenetrable, until Germany's most decorated tank ace abandoned his Tiger and fled through French streets, until 138 confirmed kills became 0 kills in exactly 8 seconds of combat engagement. The equation had flipped permanently, and German armored doctrine never recovered tactical confidence. Mathematical certainty was the foundation of Wehrmacht armored success since Polish campaign. British technological deception destroyed that foundation through invisible superiority. Coming up, the final engagement that proved mathematical equations had flipped permanently, and German armor superiority was psychological illusion. September 12, 1944, 14:20 hours. Another German Panther commander, Oberfeldwebel Klaus Richter, observes Sherman formation at 1,200 meters range near Falay's operational area. 3 months of Sherman Firefly combat reports have been distributed through Wehrmacht intelligence networks. Technical capabilities are documented, tactical threats are understood, but visual identification remains impossible at combat engagement ranges. His Panzer IV Panther maintains mathematical advantages, superior armor thickness, extended engagement range, proven crew training, mathematical superiority that defined German tactical confidence since Operation Barbarossa remains valid according to technical specifications and combat performance data. Richter follows Wehrmacht engagement protocol. Advance to optimal firing range while maintaining immunity to Allied return fire capability. Proven doctrine validated through 847 successful combat engagements. His Panther tank represents pinnacle of German engineering achievement. 80mm frontal armor, 75mm KWK, 42 L70 gun, proven battlefield superiority against Allied armor across multiple operational theaters. But in exactly 8 seconds, his tank explodes from 17-pounder APDS impact at 1,100 meters range. The British secret that flipped tank warfare overnight claims another Wehrmacht victim. 47 painted kills on Richter's gun barrel, reduced to 0 in single engagement. Technological deception achieves perfect tactical success through visual camouflage. 138 kills to 0. The equation had flipped mathematically, and German armor never recovered from psychological destruction of doctrinal confidence. British Sherman Firefly program achieved complete tactical success through exploitation of human perceptual limitations rather than overwhelming technological superiority alone. Perfect weapon camouflage combined with systematic distribution created invisible threats that German intelligence could document, but Wehrmacht crews could not identify until lethal engagement revealed technological truth. The fundamental lesson of Normandy operations destroyed Wehrmacht confidence permanently. Technological superiority becomes meaningless if superior enemies cannot be identified until they demonstrate lethality. Mathematical advantages, superior engineering, comprehensive training, and combat experience proved insufficient against technological deception designed to exploit visual recognition limitations. German armored doctrine assumed enemy inferiority could be determined through visual identification at combat engagement ranges. British engineering violated this assumption through identical appearance hiding superior capability. 138 kills to 0 represented complete failure of German tactical assumptions. Wehrmacht armor superiority was psychological illusion maintained through fighting inferior enemies. When British engineering created superior enemies disguised as inferior equipment, German mathematical confidence collapsed into tactical paralysis and psychological uncertainty. They had no idea what was coming until their tanks exploded from guns that weren't supposed to exist. Until mathematical certainty became technological uncertainty. Until the equation flipped permanently and German armor learned that superiority assumptions were lethal illusions in modern technological warfare. The British secret that changed everything. Identical appearance hiding superior firepower. Mathematical equations become meaningless when you can't identify which enemy has the superior numbers.